Avatar Varishtaya Ramakrishnaya Te Namaha. Bowing down at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna, Mother Sharda Devi and Swami Vivekananda, I offer my heartfelt pranams to all of you. I am very grateful and thankful to Albert Kramer, who was given the name Atma Prakasha by Swami Swatmaramanandaji Maharaj. I have met many people, and he's one of the most well-behaved gentlemen I have seen. And his feeling for Shivapadanandaji, his guru, and his devotion to Sri Ramakrishna, I had seen that in Johannesburg. He might have spoken very little, but even in that short span of time, you could see what an impact Shivapadanandaji Maharaj had made on his life. That is what, you might have not spoken much, but his feeling itself shows what was the impact on the life of his by Shivapadanandaji Maharaj, and what might have transpired between them, and what spirituality he might have given to them. My intention was, because many of us, we tend to forget such a great souls like Shivapadanandaji Maharaj and Swami Nishchalanandaji Maharaj were born and lived in this country itself. So I'm trying my level best to collect the incidences and the life stories of both of them. Wherever I get, I ask them, I try to video record them. And with the help of one brother Francis, I even sat with him, edited, and tried to bring out the life of Shivapadanandaji. First volume had come out. So I'm trying my level best to bring out all these things, not for any other purpose, but for the posterity. So the next generation in South Africa should know that, yes, great men came, great people have come here too. So that's all my intention. So even that short span, you could feel how grateful he is to Ramakrishna and his Guru Shivapadanandaji. Now, that apart, let me take you through some of the special features of Sri Ramakrishna. We all see on the advertisement board, buy one, get one free. So now you buy anger, get acidity free. Buy jealousy, get headache free. Buy stress, get blood pressure free. Conversely, buy trust, get friendship free. Buy exercise and yoga, get health free. Buy honesty and get very good sleep free. So now, coming back to Sri Ramakrishna, in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, Master mentions when somebody asked him the question, "Sir, may I make an effort to earn more money?" Master, yes, it is permissible to do so, but to maintain a religious family. You may try to increase your income, but in an honest way. The goal of life is not earning of money, but the service of God. Money is not harmful if it is devoted to the service of God. But that apart, money will be harmful if you use it only for your selfish purposes. So businessmen used to come to Sri Ram, eat their offerings. He said to the business devotees, you see, one can't strictly adhere to truth in business. There are ups and downs in business. Guru Nanak once said, this is all the words of Sri Ramakrishna. Guru Nanak once said, I was about to eat the food of an unholy person when I found it stained with blood. A man should offer only pure things to holy men. He shouldn't give them food earned by dishonest means. God is realized by following the path of truth. One should always chant his name even while one is performing one's duties. The mind should be left with God. Even you may be performing your duties, but your mind should be left with God. Now, I read somewhere the present day generation, what is that? Who are grandparents? So then the 7th grade children, they started writing about their or grandparents, written by class 7-year-old. Now they are writing, this is not grade 7, but 7-year-old. And 7-year-old children, while writing about the grandparents, they are writing, grandparents are lady and a man who have no little children of their own. They like other people's children. They live at airport from where we need to pick them up and later drop them back. Grandparents don't have to do anything except be there when we come to fetch them. They are so old, they shouldn't play, they cannot play hard or run. When they take us for walk, they slow down past things like pretty leaves, caterpillars and flowers. They show us and talk to us about the colors of the flowers and also why we shouldn't step on cracks. They don't say, hurry up at all. See, these are the views of the present generation, younger generation about their grandparents. The same thing is the view of the younger generation about values like honesty, truthfulness, and the other things. That's why I took you through this beautiful sayings of Sri Ramakrishna. Now, Narendra is sitting there in Dakshineshwar. Master is telling him, I have heard that Shashadar's host is not an honest man, he is immoral. Narendra is replying to this remark of Sri Ramakrishna. Narendra is telling, that is why you didn't drink the water he touched. Can you imagine? Master couldn't eat the food or even touch the glass of water touched by a dishonest man. That is why you didn't drink water he touched. It happened the first day you met Shashadhar at his house. How did you come to know that Shashadhar's host was immoral? Master smiling. Hazra knows of another instance. It happened in Sihor in Hriday's house. Hazra is now telling that incident. That man was a Vaishnava. He was dressing himself like a Vaishnava, like a religious man. He came with me to see you, meaning Ramakrishna. As soon as he sat in front of you, that is Ramakrishna, turned your back to him. Master, we learned later that he led an immoral life. To Narendra, you used to say at first that these were all my hallucinations. To which Narendra replied, how was I to know? Now I see. Discovered or what was he given the Nobel Prize in physics for? For scattering of lights. Anybody knows who is that person? C.V. Raman. Yeah. He was given the Nobel Prize for the scattering of light in physics. So this Nobel laureate, Professor C.V. Raman, after retirement, he wished to open a research institute in Bangalore. Even now, if you go there to Bangalore, that research institute is there. So he gave an advertisement in the newspaper for recruiting 3 physicists. Now, why I'm narrating this is even now, honesty, truthfulness works. It's very helpful whether you are old or young or newer generation. You can't do without honesty and truthfulness. That's why not only I have quoted Sri Ramakrishna spiritually, even in the worldly sense, and wherever you go, honesty and truthfulness are very, very important even for the younger generation. So he had the advertisement for 3 physicists in his institute. So what happened? The scientists, many scientists, lot of eager scientists applied, thinking that even if they were not selected in that, they would at least get an opportunity to meet that great Nobel laureate C.V. Raman. In the preliminary selection, 5 candidates were selected, and the final interview was to be taken by Professor C.V. Raman himself. 3 were selected out of the 5. Next day, Professor Raman was taking a walk and found one young man waiting to meet him. He realized that it was the same man who was not selected in the interview. The professor asked him, "What was the problem? Why did you come here to meet me? You were not selected." Now, that young man replied that there was no problem at all. But after finishing the interview, the office had paid him ₹7 extra than his claim, and he wanted to return back that ₹7 which did not belong to him. But because the accounts had closed, they could not take back the amount and asked him to enjoy that ₹7. In those days, ₹7 was very, very big amount. So the office people told, enjoy that ₹7. Now, this young man told this C.V. Raman that it is not right for him to accept the money which did not belong to him. He will only take the money which is hard earned by him. He will never touch the money of others. So, he told, this man, young man told, it is not right for him to accept the money which did not belong to him. Professor C.V. Raman told him, "Oh, so you wish to return the ₹7? And he took the money from him. After going few steps forward, so that's all, he took the money and he went forward. But again, C.V. Raman stopped. The professor asked the young man to meet him the next day at 10:30 a.m. Now this young man was very happy that he would get another opportunity to meet this great Nobel laureate again. Now, next day in the morning, when he met this Nobel laureate, now this Nobel laureate C.V. Raman told this young man, "Son, you have failed in physics test. Son, you have failed in your physics test, but you have passed the honesty test. So, I have created another new post just for you." Those 3 people were selected only because they passed in the physics test. But you failed in the physics test, but you passed on. He too became another Nobel laureate in 1983. This young man was Professor Subramanian Chandrasekhar. He became a US citizen and of Indian origin. He had written a book on how the 7 rupees changed his life. He too became Chandrasekharan. But he had already become a US citizen, so the Nobel Prize went to US. Whatever that might be, that is not important. The important thing is, it is not just knowledge or information which makes you great, but it is the value. That's why when we were in training our students in our students' home, wherever, so our chief focus was character building, man making. Automatically, the degrees, the master degrees and other things will come. Once the character is developed, once all these good qualities come, then automatically the other things, money and degrees and graduation, everything will come. We used to just show a little that, yes, we are giving much importance to studies, getting good marks, but our focus was character building. So now you can see, he failed in the physics test, but he became another Nobel laureate because of his honesty. So, honesty pays anywhere and everywhere. This is how. So, he has written a book also, that Professor Subramanian, a book on how the 7 rupees changed his life. This was how honesty made a great scientist. So, what is lacking in talent? What is lacking in talent can most often be made up for with hard work, guidance, and help from others. But what is lacking in character and values cannot be made up for with anything ever. Which is why Einstein said, don't try to be a person of success only, but always be a person of values. See, all who have finished the thing of age and everything are here. Where are the young men to learn all these things? Where are the young children to get all these values? Our elder people, they want their children to be in the safe heaven where they are only training them for success and not for values. They don't want the younger generation to be introduced to these values. And what happens? Only money making, success and money making. Yes, when they grow up, yes, they will focus on money and money, values are gone. Then you ask the parents, there was some conversation between some of them. Oh, I have 5 children. Where are your children? The elder is in USA. He's one of the greatest doctor there. Is it? Wonderful. Oh, the next child is in Canada. Is a great scientist there. What about the other one? Oh, she is in England. She's doing her dentistry, master in dentistry. Then what about the other one? Oh, she's in Denmark. She's also doing wonderfully in her career. Where are you living? Oh, I am living in the old age home. Nursing home, old age home. So you have trained your children for success and money making. They will finally put you to the old age home. Why? You have trained them for that, not for values and character, and you get what you have trained for. Wonderful. Now, I will take you through another incident which will open our eyes about this value only. What is that? 2 friends, they were going on a pilgrimage. They reached a village, temple by evening. Since it was already getting dark, they decided to spend the night in the temple. Soon it started raining. They decided to finish dinner and was about to open their food packets. Patkos, they had got patkos there, so they opened their food packets. Just then, a stranger came running and took shelter in the temple. He appeared to be very hungry
and exhausted. Maybe he had not eaten for many, many days. Out of pity, these two friends decided to share their food. With the stranger suggested a simple solution. He asked these two friends to divide each roti into 3 pieces. The resulting 24 pieces were to be shared equally among the 3 people. How much? Simple mathematics. 3, 4 are what? 8 pieces each. Okay? The 2 friends readily accepted. They all finished dinner and slept. Next morning, the stranger said, "Thank you for your kindness yesterday. I am now leaving to my destination. As a token of my gratitude, please accept this." He gave them 8 gold coins and left. 8 pieces of roti, 8 gold coins and left. The second friend, who had 5 rotis in his food packet, said, "I gave 5 rotis, so I will take 5 gold coins. You gave 3 rotis, so you take 3 gold coins." The first friend was greedy. He didn't agree. "I gave whatever I had. If I had more rotis, I would have also given more roti. So let us share the coins equally, 4 each." An argument started, and they could not resolve it. Why? Out of greed. So they went to the village head and explained the problem and asked him to give them justice. The village head was equally convinced with both sides of the argument and could not come to any decision. He asked them to give him 1 more day to think. That night, he prayed to the Lord to suggest him a solution. So he prayed intensely and then slept. In the night, God appeared in his dream and said, "The first friend who had 3 rotis should get 1 coin, and the other one who had 5 rotis should get 7 coins." The village head was perplexed and begged God to explain. "That will be injustice. How is that, Lord?" Now God said, the 3 rotis of the first friend were divided into 9 parts. And he ate 8 parts and gave 1 part. The 5 rotis of the second friend were divided into 15 parts. He ate 8 parts and gave 7 parts. The gold coins should be divided in accordance with their contribution. To the stranger, next morning, the village head called the 2 friends and gave his verdict and explained the reason for it. There are 3 lessons from this story. What is that? Most items we fail to understand the why of many things which happen in life. However, you may be using all your intelligence, cunning intelligence, shrewd machinations, and all the things, but God's calculation is always correct. You can't fool God. Then, the first friend, the second thing which is very important, the second lesson is the friend had a chance to get 3 gold coins who had given 3 rotis, but finally had to settle for only 1 coin because of his greed. He could have easily got 3 gold coins. Now, because of his greed, he had to settle down for 1 coin. Many times, out of greed, we fail to appreciate what we receive is more than what we deserve. God has given us more than what we deserve, but we cannot appreciate. We yearn for more out of greed, and then we end up losing a lot. There was one old woman. She was carrying her only grandchild of that family. She had 1 son, and that son had only 1 child. So that was the only issue of that lineage. So she was carrying that child on the seashore. While walking, suddenly there was something like a tsunami or something, and the big wave came. And what happened? Both the grandmother, granny, old granny, and this grandchild, small child she was carrying, were taken into the ocean, washed away into the ocean. So somehow this old lady struggled and cried and prayed to God. So one wave put her out and she was saved. But the grandbaby, out of mercy, another wave, big wave came and put out the grandchild alive. She took up the grandchild with great love and affection, showed all the affection to the child carrying, and then again she started crying and wailing and whining and whimpering, whatever. Then it was a surprise of the Samudra Raja, or the god of ocean, Varuna Deva. He came and stood before, what is this, granny? I can understand, I saved your life, I put you back. And afterwards I gave back your grandson. Why are you still crying? Oh, my grandson's left leg slipper is carried away in the ocean. See the happiness of getting back your life and the happiness of getting back your grandchild was carried away by the left leg slipper. This is what, even though God has given us more than what we deserve, by our greed and all these things, we lose everything. So the first friend had a chance to get 3 gold coins, but finally had to settle down for 1 coin. Many times, out of greed, we fail to appreciate what we receive is more than what we deserve. We yearn for more and then end up losing everything. The merits, see, the final lesson is the merits of charity does not depend on the amount we donate. This is a lesson for all of us. Whatever it may be, donation in kind, donation in, service, donation in cash, whatever. So, even your service, your intellectual service, your physical service also counts. So, the merits of charity does not depend on the amount we donate. A person earning Rand 1,000 donates Rand 200 for charity. Another person, he may donate Rand 1,000 million, who earns 1,000 million, may donate Rand 200 million for charity. The first person charity is superior because in spite of his meager earnings, in spite of all the difficulties in his house, he was able to donate, sacrifice little money he had. The second person could have donated much more, but he did not do. Richness of life is measured by 2 things. What is that? Richness of life is measured by 2 things: joy and gratitude. Not by the money and the car and the building and the other things which you have. Richness of life is measured by 2 things: your joy and gratitude. Joy of sharing what we have and gratitude for what we receive. Are you richer today with these 2 things than yesterday? Please introspect. Finally, with the last story, I will end my talk. What is that last story? I have already told this story in my yesterday's, our Devi Mahatmyam class. It is very, very nice because this is which happened in the life of one Chief Justice of India. So I want to narrate it. It is a very great lesson for all of us. Several years ago, when Justice Ranganath Mishra was the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of India, he was invited as the chief guest at the Law College of Puri, Orissa. That is where the great Jagannatha Swami temple, another aspect of Lord Krishna. Jagannatha means Lord of the universe. So when he had gone there, anyhow, he made use of that opportunity. On that particular day, before reaching the college function, that Chief Justice went to the Jagannatha temple to have the darshan of the Lord, Puri, to have darshan of Lord Jagannatha. And while returning back, he heard someone calling him by his name. What is that? Ranganath Babu, several times. He was astonished as to who could call him like this in a loud voice, that too near the temple entrance, and whether it was for him or someone else. In a dilemma, he looked back and saw one beggar See, at the doorsteps of the temple, generally beggars will be sitting there and begging for money or something, alms. So the beggar was calling him, one of the beggar, with a ugly face, inflicted with leprosy, and bandage covering his hands and legs, calling, "Oh Ranganatha Babu, Ranganatha Babu, justice was your client." In a robbery and murder case, I was awarded lifetime rigorous imprisonment by the lower court. But without knowing, you had fought my case in appeal before the Odisha High Court and got me acquitted. So, though I had murdered and looted him, you argued and acquitted me. But actually, I was the culprit. As I had committed the murder, I murdered one person and looted his money and gold. Similarly, in many other cases also, I was set free without any punishment. Now, many people complain in their life, oh, the bad people, the bad guys are getting everything, reward, and they get the money and they become rich and they are happy. But we good people who are truthful, we are not getting anything. See, now you will see that. Yes, he had escaped. I was set free without any punishment for many of my mistakes. He continued, "Sir, though I was set free by the justice of human beings in the court of the Almighty, I was severely punished and contracted leprosy throughout my body and consequently lost all my limbs. My family, my own family, my wife, my children, my kith and kin hated me and drew me out from the village. Hence, now without food, without anything, I am crawling on the road and begging for one crumb of bread or food. Near the temple gate, I am sitting here. Some people, kind people, may give me something. Sometimes someone gives me food, or else I go without food." So did you see? Nobody can escape the justice of the Almighty. Don't never think that, oh, you are good and you are not rewarded and the bad people are rewarded. Never. Now, hearing this, Justice Mishra gave him 100 rupees note and left silently with a heavy heart. At the law college function, as I've told you, this is a real-time incident just a few years back. At the law college function, Justice Mishra narrated this true incident with tears in his eyes. He said, "We are judges here to set free or sentence someone as per our wit. But there is one more upper court above, where no wit works and the culprit would be punished for sure." Hope it is applicable to all in the present context also. It is called the law of retribution. Karma catches up. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.